Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Acidic back. In today's video I wanted to bring you a couple of tips and tricks on how to get better at Call of Duty World War II. Before the video gets started, if you hit that like button, that would be greatly appreciated, and share this video around on Facebook or Twitter. Just help to try to get the channel out there. And yeah, let's get started. First thing I would recommend would kind of be to slow your gameplay down, and that kind of seems a little weird for some people, but if you've been playing the jetpack Call of Duties the last couple of years like I have, and actually stuck with them somewhat, I still play Infinite. Like, I just was finishing playing Infinite just a little bit ago. It really does help to slow your gameplay down. You don't have the suit, so if you get in a bad situation, you can't just jump around anymore. So instead of moving around fast and getting into the spawn and everything, I'd recommend practicing your positioning skills, like head glitches, know where spawns are, just things within the line of positioning will benefit you way more than anything of the rushing around type of thing is. Some people can get away with it because they play on really high sensitivities and they're used to it. Me, I personally play as a positioning role. Like when I used to play competitive Call of Duty a couple years back on like Black Ops 2 and Ghost and stuff, I was mainly an AR dominant player. I would use positioning and head glitches to my advantage, so I still do it now, and it seemed to work. I've dropped 2 nuclear so far in the first weekend, hoping to drop a couple more on the second weekend at the beta. And yeah, just first things first, just change your playstyle if you can. If you really want to stick with that rushing playstyle, I would just recommend trying to adapt some positioning into it. You can still rush around, but if you're going to rush into a certain area of the map, make sure you know maybe some head glitch spots, or maybe a corner you can peek around and pre-aim and stuff. That's another big thing, is pre-aiming around corners you know people are going to be at, or high traffic areas. If you know the area's always like got people in it, it's a high traffic sort of place on the map, always pre-fire it. Always think of where people are going to be in the corners and stuff. Check the corners. That really helps a lot, especially on a boots on the ground Call of Duty, because it's slowed down more. You can get heavily punished for just running into a room and not checking your areas like that. So that's another big thing I would suggest, is to mainly just watch around the entire map, kind of where you're about to enter into. Pre-aiming, that's a big thing. Next thing, try to adapt jump shotting and drop shotting into your gameplay. Now, most people by now should have already done this, but if you haven't gotten into the gameplay style of jump shotting and drop shotting a lot, you need to start learning that. It's been a staple in the series for I don't know how long, since I want to say Modern Warfare 3 is when I started doing it, and it's been prevalent ever since then. Like, it's just been such a big deal to where if you don't do it, you're at a major disadvantage. I personally jump shot. That's my thing. I'm not much of a drop shotter, because in my opinion, I feel like drop shotting is a really big like rushing thing, like, because with SMGs you move faster, and when I use an AR and drop shot, it just doesn't feel as good. So I jump shot with ARs and stock, because I feel like since you have stock, you move really fast while jumping, and it takes a lot of that resistance of being on the ground. So that's what I personally do. I'm a jump shotter. You can try drop shotting, or you can do both. I mainly prefer jump shotting, especially with stick and move coming back from the into the beta, which I'm so glad they're adding back bumper jumper and stick and move. I've been using that for 3 years. It was going to be such a hard time adapting. I was having to go back to playing claw, and that kind of felt weird. But yeah, also use the different controller layout, like stick and move and stuff. Like I said, if you don't prefer that and you're used to something, stick with it. By all means, it still works just the same. It's just stick and move. For me, being a jump shotter and everything, it's easier to do since I use the toggle stick to jump and everything. So my personal opinion, that's better for me. You do what you do, and yeah, that's one way to improve as well. Another tip would be to find your right sensitivity, and this can change for multiple different play styles. I know a couple friends that play with SMG play, and they play on 4 to 5s, maybe even 6s. I play mainly on a 3 and a 2 on most Call of Duties. I play really slow because at long ranges with the AR, I like to be really precise with it, and my fingers are really jerky when I get nervous and stuff. So yeah, I mainly play on a really low sensitivity for that reason. But if you're up close and running around the whole time and getting into bad positions, sometimes it'd be good to have a high sensitivity to turn around and react to that really fast. I stay at a distance most of the time, so that problem really isn't prevalent for me. But if that's your type of play style, by all means, you really want to find that perfect sensitivity in your range of play style. And the last thing I would suggest is play the lanes correctly. I know this is kind of like, it kind of goes into the positioning thing, but it's kind of its own kind of tip here. don't try to fight things at long ranges with SMGs, and don't try to go up close with ARs if you can. I mean, SCG can outgun some SMGs, but if that PPSH or Waffle 428, I think is what it is, gets up close to you, it's going to be really hard to outgun without some luck on your side. So just try to know where you're going to go and plan that out, and use the weapon and division you're using. Go in the lane that's made for that specifically. Don't try to just think, oh, I'm a good player, I'll just outslay everything I can, as that'll carry you pretty good ways. This isn't, like I said, a jump pack Call of Duty. That's not going to work for you the whole time. You're going to need some positioning skills, some map knowledge. All the things that made the first ones so much more competitive are going to come back because of this. So you're really going to want to try to make sure you're using your gun at its effective range, and not just thinking, oh, I have this certain AR, or oh, I have this certain SMG, I can just dominate at all ranges because I can close the gap if it gets too far away, or I can back up really fast because I have the suit. But you can't do that anymore. So trying to find the guns that fit in your type of play style and your gameplay range is a big deal, because there's a lot of times I've had people try to outgun me at range with PPSHs and stuff, and sometimes it can happen. I've had it happen before because some people are really talented with a weapon, that's their play style, but 99% of the time, if I'm using the STG or the M1 Garand, it's over for them. I'm gonna beat them at that range. That's just what the gun is. It's just what it's designed to do. So when I get in that gunfight with somebody, that's just gonna be my win. That's just how it's supposed to be. I played that to my advantage, and that's one thing people have to adapt to now. But yeah, that's gonna be all my tips and tricks for how to get better at Call of Duty World War II. There might be some more later on that I find that will make you even better, or make me better as I play the beta. So if I find any more, I'll come back with another video for it. If you did enjoy the video, like I said, hit the like button and share it around with your friends and everything on Facebook, Twitter, or any of the social medias you have. And if you want to see more content from me in the future, I'll be doing Destiny 2 and Call of Duty World War 2, and maybe other games if they really interest me. Do hit the subscribe button below, and if you do, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll get notified every time I upload. And it's been Acidic, and I'm out. Peace.